lot of times when we're doing any kind of a technique that involves tapping in to the subconscious mind, a lot of times, that we get knocked off by emotions. So I like to share the thing about emotions right off the bat so that you can learn to kind of set them aside. And if you haven't learned my 3 steps for the set aside program, that's a really important thing to learn, the set aside. You guys want to learn it right now with me? I'm going to just share it with you really quickly because it's such a great way to set aside anything. And I have so many students who have told me, gosh, I have used this to help my kids and they've gotten over test anxiety. And now they're doing so much better. They're getting a lot better grades. Other people, I've had a few people who told me they've used it because they are professional day traders or gamblers. And they've told me that it's really helped improve their day trading and their gambling outcomes. I'm not a gambler myself, but there's a lot of people who do gamble for a living. So I just want to share that emotions can knock anything off kilter, including your ability to make quick last second decisions, right? So we're starting out now talking about how to tap in. And many of you said you wished you had had a crystal ball. You wished you had had something that could have helped you when you're trying to make a decision. And so many times we've needed guidance making a really important decision. I bet any one of you right now could think back to a time when you were trying to make a really important decision and you needed guidance. So what if you could use a principle of physics to help you making those decisions? That would really help. So the first thing we're going to do as we get going is we're going to learn the 3 steps to set aside anything so that you can be calm, kind of like starting with a clean plate or starting with a blank canvas. We don't want a bunch of messy emotions getting in the way as we get started. So the first thing you do is you talk to yourself about whatever is causing you to be really emotional. So let's say you've got a really important decision to make right now, and you're just really worked up over it because what if I don't make the right decision? And there's no one to go to right now for help. There's nobody you can turn to help you. So the first thing you have to do is calm down, right? So I'm going to teach you a 3-step method to set those emotions aside so we could start with a clean canvas, okay? So what you're going to do first is you're going to talk to yourself about whatever the emotional thing is. And to help you understand this a little better, I'm going to use an analogy that I think all of you can relate to. Remember a time when you were little, just a little kid, and you were really scared in the middle of the night. You thought there was a monster under the bed. So you run to mommy and you say, Mommy, I think there's a monster under the bed. Now, if you're a bad mommy, the mommy would say, there's no monster, go back to sleep. But if you're a good mommy, you're going to say, okay, let's go look. And together you go look under the bed. You see there's no monster. And a really good mommy might even climb into bed with you and hold you and help you get back to sleep. Now, the way this analogy relates to setting things aside is that you just have to talk to yourself as you would to a little child. You're kind of both being the child and the mommy in this scenario. And so you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to make this choice. I don't have a lot of time. It's freaking me out. I don't know what to do. And then you say, okay, well, if I make the right choice, everything's going to be great. And in the worst case scenario, if I make the wrong choice, then I can do X, Y, Z. And you try to talk to yourself calmly, calm yourself down. And then that's the first step. So that's the step of kind of rationalizing, talking to yourself, bringing it out in the open, really acknowledging those emotions and why you're having them, and then looking for a possible solution. That's step 1. That's the equivalent of the mommy coming in the room, looking under the bed and climbing in bed with you and helping you get back to sleep. Step 2 and 3 are super easy. Step 2 is, so for now, I'm not worrying about it. And you say that out loud to yourself. So for now, I'm not worrying about it. And then step 3, for now, I'm setting aside. And then you just write down what you're setting aside as you say it. I'm setting aside the monster under the bed, and you're literally writing it as you say it. So in the case of, let's say that you're getting ready to do a remote viewing session, and you know your dog is going to want out in the middle of the session, but you can't get him to go out now. He just won't go. But you know that as soon as you get really good at viewing and you're really rolling, the dog is going to want out. So you say, okay, I know that Rover's going to want out in the middle of my session, and that's going to interrupt me. It might interrupt me when I'm having a really good flow. But if Rover does interrupt me, it'll help me learn how to take breaks, how to break and resume. And that's a good thing. I need to learn how to take breaks and resume again. So for now, I'm not worrying about it. For now, I'm setting aside Rover. And you only have to write down the word Rover. You don't have to write a long, complex thing, just Rover. The act of writing it down helps, and saying it out loud, because the more we engage the body, the better everything works.